everybody, and welcome back to my Zero Carb Life. I'm here with one of my absolute best buddies and mentors, the guru, Charles Washington. Hey, Charles, how are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing all right. So you live in Pennsylvania, right?
Pennsylvania, yeah.
And how are things there?
Lockdown, total lockdown.
Yeah.
We go to the store and we go to, essential work, and that's it.
And are you considered essential right now?
I am, yeah. Well, I telework my first job, and then my second job, I actually have to go in and sort packages and all of that.
Okay, so you are still about as busy as usual?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I feel like today's topic is really needed and an important one because, so when I'm over on Instagram especially, this is the place where when I leave our little happy bubble of zeroing in on health and I go over to the Instagram world, it's a much more mixed bag, I guess, of messages.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because, you know, in our world, we keep it the way we like it, right? And then when you leave that, the rules are no longer there and people can say whatever they want to. And a lot of what I'm hearing is about fasting. Oh, the benefits of fasting. How long can you fast? How to break a fast. The benefits of the fast. And then, you know, when I'm over there, I try to mostly keep it shut a little bit. But the more I think about it and the more I read some of the things like what I'm going to be reading to you today, because I have a ton. I won't get to all of them, but a ton of people who reached out to me to tell me their fasting fails. So why is zeroing in on health so anti-fasting?
Well, it's a long, convoluted thing, but the short answer is just simply that it's just not needed. When you're losing weight, there's two types of losing weight, and I wrote about it a lot, but it's like there's the concentration camp style of losing weight. My apologies to anybody offended by that statement, but it's true. When you go without eating, you do indeed get skinny, but it's the sick kind of skinny, you know, where you just kind of waste away. But if you examine such things closely, you'll see that people who do that, if you're fat like in the midsection and you fast away and you don't eat, you'll still be fat in the midsection. You'll be skinny, but you'll still have those same fat deposits. So that's not the kind of weight loss we're after. We're after the kind where you lose fat and you get stronger as you lose weight, and that stays. The kind you do when you don't eat, as soon as you start eating, everybody knows it comes back. You get sick, you get a cold, you lose 10 pounds, and then you go eat a couple of days, and next thing you know, you gain 15. That's a whole different process. That's not the weight loss we're after. Anybody who comes talking about that, we're like, that's not what we're talking about. We don't want that. Anybody can do that. Drink prune juice and you can lose weight. That's fine. But that's not what we're after. The kind that you and I experience, it doesn't come back. We can eat as much steak, pork chops, whatever it is that we want, and it just doesn't come back. We don't deprive ourselves. We don't go without eating intentionally. That's what we're after.
Absolutely. And I think one thing we need to clarify is when we say fasting, in our definition, that means my body is asking for fuel and I'm telling it no.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's not that we go around. I think this is a really important distinction because I also don't think we're intended to go around just grazing all the time necessarily. And I don't. I typically eat twice per day. But what I do is I eat one huge meal for lunch, which for me is at least 1 pound. Like, I'm not going to feel full at lunch if I don't eat at least 1 pound of meat. And typically by 8:30, sometime in that window, I have gotten hungry again and I've eaten close to 1 pound of meat again.
Yes.
But then after that, I'm not normally hungry again until lunch the next day. Now, if I did get hungry, I would eat. But I don't just go around nibbling. And if I got hungry, I'm not going to be like, well, I guess I'll just eat a few pieces of bacon to tide me over. Like, if you're hungry, eat.
Eat, yes.
Yeah, get good and full, and you're probably not going to be hungry again in 2 hours.
Right.
But I think sometimes when we say we don't do fasting, what people picture is us snacking all day.
Right. And just eating and eating and eating, right? And we don't. Yeah, we're fully cognizant of that time between eating. That, I mean, I think in the early days we used to say, eat enough food. I think everybody gets stuck on the 2 pounds thing, which isn't really a thing. But I think we should probably go back to what we said in the beginning, which is eat enough food so that you can go without eating for at least 6 hours. What we mean by that is you're not hungry for at least 6 hours. That was sort of our early thing. And then we got people who would time it. Well, at 5 hours and 45 minutes. So then we had to jump off of the time thing. Okay, if you got hungry at 4 hours, it's okay. Because some days you might get hungry at 6. Some days it might be 8. Some days it might be 4. Whatever it is, eat. We don't care.
Yes, I agree. So I think somewhere between the people who are, there are apps for fasting now.
No, not surprising.
Yeah, where you set your timer, your goal. If it's a 48-hour fast, it counts it down for you and gives you little messages of encouragement. I know because I see people share pictures of it all the time. You've almost made it. And I'm like,
really? Yeah.
Hey, now, I'll tell you, when people say, is there ever a reason to fast? Mm-hmm. Yep, I think there is. Yeah. And it's when you're eating carbs. Because if you're eating carbs and then you start fasting, congratulations, you just ate less carbs.
Yes. and there's there's one more, and that's when you're sick. But the cool thing about that one, when you're sick, your body tells you to fast. Your body says, I don't want nothing to eat. And you should listen to it and not eat. And that's perfectly fine, because a lot of these things, you upset your stomach, you've done whatever you've done, and your body's telling you, we don't want any more food. Don't give it to it. That's cool. But notice the difference. Your body's telling you to do that. In the other situation, you're trying to tell your body, well, we're only going to eat a smidgen of food for the whole day or whatever. That's a whole different story.
Yes. So Charles, I want to kind of get your reaction on a few of these comments. I'm only going to use their first. Here's our reaction video. I'm only going to use their first names, but I do have their permission to use their first names. This is Megan. She said, I fasted to lose weight. Then, as you would expect, I got tired of starving, ended up overeating and gaining back that weight plus more, and even lost the motivation to stick to zero carb. It was horrible. There's no point in keeping yourself from being satiated. Feed your body.
Nice. Nothing to say to that except go, girl.
Yes. All right. This is Evie.
Number one. Megan's number. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you tell it, Megan. All right. This is Evie. Thought I would try fasting in October after ZC for 5 months. Caused a monumental binge eating landslide for months, and it's been tricky to get back into ZC. Just did 2 weeks, though. Will not be forcing fasting again. Just eating when hungry, as it worked before. Naturally falls between 11 a.m. and 8 p.m. So I do think that sometimes, I was just talking to a lady this morning, and she said, as soon as you tell me I can't eat, she's starving. Hey, Julie, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. And I'm wanting to talk about just people's real experiences. How did fasting go for you?
Fasting has never gone well for me. It makes me obsess and think about food constantly. It kind of reminded me of when I used to do Weight Watchers a million years ago, and I felt like I was constantly fixated thinking about when I can eat next and how my stomach felt and wanting things that weren't on plan, that sort of thing. So I don't like the food obsession I have when I'm fasting.
That feeling makes me hungrier. Like just knowing I can't get food. Now, as soon as I started Carnivore and Charles Washington and all of the veterans there, Dana, and they started saying, just eat when you're hungry. I was like, oh, well, that's easy, right? And it took that mental pressure off that said, like, set a clock. And so now when I see this new obsession, it seems like, and maybe it's always been there, I just wasn't in these circles, of even carnivores who are saying, get out your little fasting app, and when it runs out, you can eat. That would be maddening to me. Right? I would suddenly feel like you, just like a normal dieter who is struggling to not eat. And it makes me want to ask them, what's the difference then between this diet and any other diet if you're going to tell people they can't eat?
Yep. I like food.
Yes, I like food. Let's eat some meat. I'm hungry right now. All right. Happy lunch. Bye.
All right. Bye.
I'd be the same. I'd be the same.
Yeah. Right. Karen says, I was freezing each time I did a 24, 36, or 48-hour water fast on keto. On day 10 of a 14-day water fast, I developed my first bout of horrifically painful gout. Also, my Hashimoto's spiraled out of control.
Yes.
So sometimes I think when we tell, and there are a lot of really smart, well-intentioned people right now.
Yes.
Telling folks to fast.
Right.
But some people, what their body needs more than anything, and maybe not just some people, might be all people, is food. Right?
Yes. Real food.
Real food, meat, the nutrients from meat. Because there are a lot of ways to get nutrient deficient. One of them is eating junk.
Right.
And the other one is not eating.
Right. Right. And that's so important. And when we say nutrient deficient, we're not talking about finding meat and liver and all that has all these check marks in it, all the K vitamins, all the whatever.
Yeah.
What you said a second ago is so important. Junk, it actually makes the nutrients go from your body. Carbohydrates keep you from absorbing the nutrients that you would otherwise get. So it's that you're losing nutrients. But if you eat meat, it's not that meat is giving us all this, so much vitamin C, so much this, so much that. We absorb all of it and we keep it. That's the difference. And then when we eat junk, we detract from that. That's what happens.
Amen. Agreed. All right. So this person named Anne Marie, and the only reason I'm sharing so many of these stories is I feel like in theory, it sounds like a good idea. Like, I don't know, to some people, to me, it sounds like a horrible idea because I really like to eat. But, you hear so many smart people say it, and after a while, you're like, I don't know, maybe there's something to this. And then you just read story after story of just real people. I don't know these people, but they're just folks who reached out to say, I tried this. I gave it a solid go, and it was horrible. Anne Marie says that she tried fasting because she thought it was the right thing to do. It completely ruined her sleep. She couldn't sleep soundly. Now, that's one of the best parts of a carnivore diet is you are getting sound sleep. But when you go to bed hungry, your body isn't going to let you go there.
No.
And she says that, honestly, she said, so for me, that was a huge fail. I promised myself I will never be voluntarily hungry ever again.
Smart girl.
Smart girl.
Smart girl.
So we say this sometimes. We say the main benefit to fasting is that you're not getting the carbs and the blood sugar spikes. You're already with carnivore. You're avoiding all that anyway.
Right.
You're getting all the benefits.
Right.
Without all of these nasty side effects of lost sleep, of making some things flare up. Oh, here's another one. Mental wise. I was talking to Brett Lloyd.
Okay.
Brett, he's around quite a bit. I've done an episode with Brett. He's a good guy. Brett said that for his mental issues, which were extreme in his past, if he goes without eating meat for any extended period of time, he feels that creep back in.
So meat is not just my food, it is my medicine.
Yeah.
And if I'm late taking my medicine, bad things start to happen. Those are the only time it's happened is when I was unable to eat when I was hungry.
So for you, when people say, if you want to take your carnivore life to a whole new level, you should do a lot of intermittent fasting. It's going to really enlighten you. No, right?
Absolutely not.
Things do not get better in my life or the people around me. That's not better. And some will say you just have to power through. And to which I say, okay, if it's working for you, that is good. There's no diet out there that's worth me powering through hunger every day. And I've said this before, I could have gotten skinny on any diet if I was starving myself 12 to 18 hours a day, right?
Certainly. I could have too.
Yeah. Now, would we have gotten this happiness? No, but I'm going to give up the happiness if you're also now telling me I have to go hungry 16 hours every day. If I'm hungry, I am in it as much for the happiness as I am for the gene size. he said for him, the nutrients that he is getting from the meat is his medicine.
So what's the difference? With ours, we are able to retain muscle, retain all of those things, and eat meat and fat, which our bodies prefer. Whereas the faster, they're cannibalizing themselves. So we get the benefit of fasting without actually fasting. That's the thing. We agree. All these people who say the benefits of fasting, whatever, we agree with all that 100%. We just get it this way without the catabolization of our muscle and our lean mass. That's the difference. We get it. We totally, hey, we're all for you. We agree. Benefits. Yes. But don't do it that way. Do it our way. It's much better.
You know, some of the more famous carnivore doctors right now who talk quite a bit about fasting, I have actually reached out to them and I've emailed to say, if someone is 100% carnivore like we are,
yeah,
and we're not fasting and
right,
we're feeling amazing,
mm-hmm,
why would we stop eating? And I have yet. No one has said like, oh, well, here's what. No. There's been, the only responses I have gotten has been, oh, you should keep doing what you're doing. That's great. Glad you feel good. I see no reason to. I'm not kidding. Time after time. It's not like they've said, well, you will suddenly reach carnivore euphoria if you just, like.
Right. Fasting is something that's just not sustainable. You will get hungry and you will eat. So there's no end in it. So when you tell me, well, you know, it's good for you, it's whatever. Okay, but what is the end? You're going to have to keep fasting like that for the rest of your life just to keep 5 pounds down? Is that what you're saying to me? I don't buy that.
No, I don't either. And when I hear anytime somebody starts a diet,
yeah,
I don't always say this out loud, but I typically think, is this sustainable forever?
Right.
Because, like you just said, as soon as you stop doing what you're doing,
yeah,
everyone knows you're just going to go back to how it was.
Yeah.
So
everybody knows that. This is not controversial. Everyone knows that. Yeah.
No, like if you found a magic pill and then you decide to stop taking it, obviously you stop getting results. Yeah. Well, if your magic pill is that you're going to go hungry every single day, how long do you think you could keep that up?
Yeah.
And I think for most people, that's not how we would choose to live.
No. And then they want to go to the gym and they want to lift and do all this kind of stuff while fasting. And it's just like, are you serious? Yeah.
Yeah, life is hard enough. Yes. I mean, let's just all be honest, especially, let's focus right now, especially right now, okay? We've got enough going on without us sitting around going, you know what? Maybe I should just face life right now while also hungry and picking up heavy things all day.
Yes. Like, sure. There you go.
So I'm going to give my impassioned reason right now.
Okay, here it
why
comes.
this matters to me. Okay. So Charles, yes, I'm in the South. I'm in North Carolina. Yeah. And when I go to Walmart, not right now. No, I ain't going there right now. No offense, Walmart, but I'm staying home. Publix just delivered my groceries to the door today.
Go, girl.
Yeah. But typically when I would go to Walmart and I see a large majority of people over age 60 on those little rascal scooters. Yeah. And I mean, they're everywhere now.
Yes.
And they're not doing it because it's a fun ride. They're doing it because their joints hurt. They're overweight, and they literally can't stand up for a grocery shopping trip.
Right. Yes.
And then so these people, they need help.
Yes.
Serious help. Yeah. And I see them, and in my mind, I think, I really know what could help you. Mm-hmm. Right? I know that it's the carbs. I've got a bumper sticker on my van that said "Carbs kill." And I know it seems dramatic, but they do. They were killing me. They're hurting people.
Yes.
And then when I get home and I go into my little 0 carb zones, not our little happy place, but a lot of other places, YouTube for 0 carb or carnivore areas. Mm-hmm. And I hear this message so frequently about fasting. And I think to myself, you are telling people, the people I see that are in my heart and mind that I know need this. Mm-hmm. And the number one thing that they need is to just go eat meat.
Yes.
That's all they need to do. Stop everything else. Just go and eat meat.
Yes.
And now the message is, we want you to stop eating meat.
Yeah.
And it breaks my heart.
Yeah. Same.
And I think we just need to get ourselves, are we telling them they need to eat? Or are we telling them they need to not eat?
Right.
And I think to ask folks, and in all fairness, they're eating the way they're eating because they're hungry. Right? They're hungry. I was a 262-pound girl, and it was not because I hated food.
Right.
I liked to eat and still do. And I'm going to eat. I'm going to eat something. So I think our message needs to be, you can eat.
Yes.
Please don't go hungry.
You have to put salt on everything. Oh, sorry, that's another.
No, you don't have to down all the electrolytes. You don't have to do it. You could just, I want to keep this message simple. And I know some people might say, well, you're just watering it down too simple. If everybody did the simple version,
yes,
how far would the world come? And to make it complicated by saying it must be grass-fed and expensive, you have to go 18 hours between meals. You've got to drink the electrolyte. You've got to do that. When I look in the real world, here are my people who are dying on a rascal. And I think instead of making this expensive and complicated and hard, just hard, could we make it as easy as possible? Now, if you are a woman who's been keto carnivore for 10 years and you're real worried about that little pinch there, I don't know. You might have to do some real tiny tweaks to get rid of that little ounce. I'm not sure what you need, but these folks over here on their scooters, they need help.
Right. Yes.
So I feel like we need to tone down this fasting thing.
Yes, I'm with you. Here.
Thanks, Charles. And so you've been doing this for 12 years. Yes. And I've been doing it for 10, and Dana 11 to 12. We've got a lot of folks. Amber's right there, 11-ish, I think. She's coming on the show mid-April.
Nice.
None of us are going hungry.
No.
And none of us are worried about any last little pinch. We're fine, right? We're fine. We're also not stepping on a scale every morning to freak out about a little ounce.
Nope. Don't go in Walmart telling those people on the thing to get up and go run. That's just stupid talk. I'm not a big loser fan when they got the 600-pound person and they're making them run up and down. See, that's just stupid talk. Eat right, get your diet together, get your weight together, then pursue your athletic pursuits. Exercise is the function of a healthy body. You do not get healthy by exercising.
Man, I love you, dude.
Aww.
Dude, thank you for coming back again. Every time you talk to me, which a lot of times is behind the scene, but you just bring a smile to my face every time.
Aww.
Yeah, I mean it. Thank you
I love
again.
this woman. I love her.
I love him. Thank you, Charles.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.